It'll buy that excuse. Let me know where you work. I want to apply there. There's one I would like to do here. It's a poem, actually, as an introduction to a song. It was very important to me because it's about what goes on in the north of Ireland today and how most Irish, I think, really think about it. The poem itself is called O'Driscoll, and by way of a little bit of education here, it's what they call an allegorical poem. O'Driscoll stands for Ireland. Bridget, his bride, means freedom. Wine stands for blood. On and on. From that, you could pretty much pick it out as it goes. But it goes like this. O'Driscoll drove with a song of the wild duck and the drake, and the tall and tufted reeds of a drear heart lake. And he dreamt that he saw how the reeds grew dark with the approach of night tide. And he dreamt of the long and dim hair of Bridget, his bride. And then he heard it. High up in the air, a piper, piping away. And never was piping so sad, and never was piping so gay. And he dreamt that he saw young men and young girls dancing in a level place, with Bridget, his bride, among them, with a sad and yet a gay face. The dancers gathered around him, and many a sweet thing said, and an old man brought him red wine, or a young girl well-bred. But Bridget drew him by the sleeve, away from the merry band, to old men playing at cards with a twinkling of ancient hands. O'Driscoll sat and he played in a dream, and he thought not of evil chance, until want for Bridget, his bride, away to the merry dance. He bore her away in his arms, the handsomest young man there, and his lips and his neck and his arms were drowned in her long dim hair. And O'Driscoll scattered the cards, and out of his dream awoke. And old men, and young girls were all gone, gone in a drift of smoke. And then he heard it. High up in the air, a piper, piping away. And never was piping so sad, nor ever was piping so gay. John McCoy was a Catholic boy. He sang the songs of liberty, great Henry Joy. And the sights and sounds of nature were the things that he loved best. And he got a bunch of flowers when they laid him to his rest. And there has to be an end to it someday, to the torture her land is going through. And I hope I'll live to see it in my day, when my country will be one instead of two. Little Sammy Wilson, he came from the other side, and the 12th day of July was his joy and his pride. He was young and gay, and they wrapped the sash around him and they laid him in the clay. And there has to be an end to it someday, to the torture our land is going through. And I hope I'll live to see it in my day, when my country will be one instead of two. He came from across the sea, and when he was a boy he said a soldier he would be. But in the streets of Belfast he fell at a sniper's hand, a victim of the bitter hate he could never understand. And there has to be an end to it someday, to the torture our land is going through. My country will be one instead of two.